Good evening. Happy Mother's Day. Do you know who you are? You are filled with the kingdom of God. You know, we're not waiting to get to be a part of the kingdom after we die. He said the kingdom was nigh and at hand. And we are filled with the kingdom of God. We are filled with the glory of God. We are so enriched in His blessings, in His mercy. He is so good to us. And you know, as women, a lot of times we feel like we've been put down, we've been pressed down, we've done, maybe even God feels that way because some of the laws and the ways that they were treated in the Bible. But this morning the Lord was showing me, He said, you know who you are? I decided to create you to be one of the ones who had a womb in which I took my hands and I knit and I formed fearfully and wonderfully made another one in my image. And why, mothers, you know, do we understand how wonderful that is that God chose to let us be women? That was what we were, our created vessel, so that He could put His hands inside of our womb and create another creation that was made in His image. We are made in the image of our God. And then when we look at this little child, see, mothers should understand, parents should understand. When we look at this little child and we see our own image, all of our hopes and our dreams and all the beauty and all the wonder, and our hearts are just bursting open because we see this little child in our image. And they're in the image of our God as well. And we love them like our God loves us, except for, we have limitations. We're humans. We go by feelings. Our love, that first moment you looked at that child, our love and our capacity to love is nothing like God's love for us. He told me one day, I don't throw temper tantrums. And I understood that meant his emotions didn't go up and down, left and right. We are created in the image of our God. Jesus told him the kingdom is nigh and at hand, and here we are as the kingdom, and we're trying to birth things outside and in the ministries. And as mothers, we should understand that nurturing and helping them walk, and it's all part of the process. We were called to be wonderful mothers. God chose us and trusted us. We are beautiful. The world, it gives us this image of women, and even pastors, and their lives are perfect. Everything's in place. They're always dressed nice. Their house is always clean. Their kids are always well behaved. They're always smiling real pretty and posing proper and pretty pictures. That's not life. Life is holding that kid and loving on it and spending time with it in the middle of your mess. Because that house is going to stay dirty. But that child's good. You can clean it up and it's going to get dirty again. Clean it up and it's going to get dirty again. But that child's going to grow up and they're going to go away. Mothers, you are wonderful. God's heart towards you. He could have kept making man out of the dust, out of the ground. But He created a woman to give birth to men created in His own image. And He showed us through Mary what our children were supposed to be like, but our children have fell into this fallen world too. And we have, and we're broken people, and we broke each other. But God's not mad at us. We failed, and He knew it. He still chose it. Just like He chose us for ministry, He still chose us to be our children's parents. And He'll take even those things, even those bad things, and He'll turn around for our good. If we mess up, if we're willing to admit it, if we're willing to be humble, we teach our child a lesson. They won't remember what we said, but they will remember how we reacted after we did the wrong thing. God will use everything for our good.
Quit putting so much pressure on yourself. Look in the mirror. It don't matter if your hair's sticking up, if every one of them's in the right place. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. God said you're the apple of his eye. He's chosen you from the foundation of the world. And he knew you by name when he called you out of your mother's womb. And the children that we've made, he knew them when he called them forth. He knew them before we did. And he's got them, moms. You're doing great. You're doing great. You might not have done all the right things, but it lets your children know that they're loved. Because that's the most important thing. Because that's the image of our God, and that is what we want our children to be. We want them to become love. We want them to become compassion and kindness and patience and strength through the joy of the Lord. I love you, women. I love you, mothers. Y'all have a happy Mother's Day. God bless.